All right, I'm gonna have to get back to this because I need to go back onto Facebook Marketplace and deal with a couple of things. But I'm here. I'm sitting in the van, and I got a lot of content coming. I'm sitting with the Blue Eddie, charging my camera. The G9 Mark II. It's got an 8 mm mic lens on it. And I'm just getting ready to go outside and take some shots. I'm at the court, but it doesn't really matter. It's just the aesthetic of the neighborhood vibe. Um, but yes. Now I don't know what's going on here. I don't have any traffic. I don't know if this is being viewed by anybody, even executives or not. But you know how that goes. So, like I said, I'll be right back. I just wanted to test out the live thing a little second here and see how that vibe was. See what the whatever it was. Not fond of the noise, but it is what it is and helps pass time. Um, these guys are getting after it. That's nice. I know I might hoop later once these guys get tired and leave or something. They can't be here all night. Come on. I'm like the creepy guy in the van. Oh, now I got 8 viewers. What? That's crazy. Anyways, so I don't see any comments yet. If you guys want to chat, that'll help me stay on subject because I could just talk. I could just talk. I should, be all on it. Like, so I have unequivocal proof and data that shows and suggests that LeBron James was, in fact, indefinitely involved in the Kobe Bryant accident. Accident. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to laugh. My brother. I see activity. I just don't see any comments. The thing is, they try to add all this stuff. So live streaming is very simple. You need comments to talk to, or a person to come up in the chat box to talk to. It's very simple. I don't know what I like means. Do you like it? Are you just liking it just as much as you're liking it? Anyway, but yeah, like I said, in the caption, I'm of the perspective that LeBron James is not a good person off the court. Doesn't matter on the court or off the court. You can say I'm one of those types of people that if I'm looking for evidence to support a narrative, I'll find it. You can say whatever you want. But by the end of the day, you gotta look at it. And you gotta look at it for what it is. Now, Kobe's slate isn't clean, but it has nothing to do with what LeBron James is doing. Okay? that man is done. It's purely. There is no all respect, bro. All respect. I don't understand people that don't have traditional like YouTube um or social media. Like, you should have a picture that's like at least of yourself doing, even if it's doing something cool. It doesn't have to be like a profile, like a super profile, but have some if you're getting on social media, it's usually to be expressive. If you're just like the content consuming type, I can understand, but you still want to have a certain presentation, especially when you're getting into like uh you know what I'm saying, like chat rooms. So that sets the tone. That sets the tone. You know what I mean? That sets the tone. So if you find that a live streamer is being rude to you, do they have reason? You know, there's definitely a delay on the comments. I don't appreciate that. They said something about there being a delay on the comments or on messages, and I don't appreciate it because what's the point of somebody getting rude with me for no reason? And that's what I'm saying. You guys are just making the whole thing too complicated. If somebody is saying something that you don't want to hear while you're live streaming, you probably shouldn't be live streaming. You can't change that up. There's people that are too complicated and have way too much going on. I miss the days when live streaming was so simple and so clear cut. And then like live streaming is just not a new thing at all. Like I'm old as a mug. I'm almost 30. I've been around too long, and look, life has been the same since 2008. It's almost 20 years. We don't have this thing going on where it's like, oh, it's 1950, we got certain things going on. Oh, it's 1960, we got certain things going on. Oh, it's 1970, we got things going on. Oh, it's 1980, we got a different thing going on. Oh, it's 1990, we got a totally different thing going on. Oh, it's 2000, we got a totally, completely different millennial change. Oh, it's 2010. Honestly, life has been the same since 2010. There's nothing different, bro. People's talking about AI and all this. There's nothing different, bro. Like I said, man. I don't. It's funny. Every time I have a conversation with somebody that respects LeBron James, they always. It's like if you actually ask them questions, it's like they never thought of it. They literally just don't think of things on their own. They just say stuff because that's what's being said. So they just go with the flow. They always go with the flow. Every LeBron fan never actually thinks for themselves. Kobe fans think. They think about things because don't forget, Kobe was that guy. You know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, I'm playing chess, you're playing checkers. So Kobe fans actually think about things. So it's two different crowds. So you can. Here's the thing that the government realized that you can control people by getting them to react just based on like without even making them think about what they're doing, and you can influence people and you can sway people. You don't have to make them think about it. The objective of a lot of government programs and marketing and advertising alone is to get people to not think. That is the entire point. They're trying to get you to not think, just to act. They say something, you do it. Don't ask questions. And so I'm just saying, that's the type of fan base that LeBron James has. That's not the Kobe Bryant fan base. You're going to have people like that everywhere. It's a good mix, don't get me wrong. There's going to be people like that everywhere. But Kobe Bryant fans, the core base of Kobe Bryant fans and Laker fans are sensible people that think about things. I've never met a thinking person that can justify LeBron James being on the court. They always just say things that don't have any backing. They always just say things like, "Oh yeah, you can't count out LeBron. He's whatever. He's the top this whatever." They have nothing to back that. It's like the depth. When you think about the depth of a player, LeBron doesn't have any depth. Kobe has depth. Michael has depth. LeBron James does not have depth. He's like crashing out on the court and off the court, trying to solidify. He's like constantly trying to solidify his validation and not doing a good job, but yet the media just like serenades him regardless. So it's very bad because people are just influenced by things like the media. So it's very bad. Very bad situation. And when the media has a narrative that they want already, man, there's almost nothing you can do. You just gotta have your own fan base. You gotta have your own set of real people that know what's going on. And it has to be a big set. That's the only way. Because when you watch TV, sometimes the thing I always hated about watching TV is that it was like it was too one story. And I don't even care about one story. It was just too one narrative. It was too narrow narratived. I don't know what word actually I'm looking for. Because whenever you watch a movie and it's like a good guy and a bad guy, or a bad situation and a good situation, whenever you watch the news, whenever you watch, especially when you watch documentaries, they always have this ambition and this mission. Whenever you watch a documentary, especially on PBS or whatever, it's always about, they're always pushing this narrative of, unity and a utopia. And that's what we all want. And it's just so weird because there's so many more perspectives on that never get talked about. I watched so much PBS documentaries. What are those shows that come on PBS? I forgot, like Frontlines and Prime Time and all this other stuff. They always push the same narrative. You watch all these mini documentaries on Vice, they all have the same vibe. And it's always some sort of oppressor and oppressed people in a system that's against the people, and the people are disenfranchised because of their skin color. I don't know. It's just so much of the same thing. And there's always this stuff about evolution, and everything gets talked about one way. If they're talking about the church, it's always the Catholic Church, like no other churches exist or anything, or they don't have an impact, or if it's another church, it's a fringe. And those people are basically kooks and they're nuts. Um, and there's no criticism of certain entities. Certain people never get criticized. They never get looked at questionably. We always talk about Saddam Hussein a certain way. It was like every time I turned on TV, it was an alternate reality. And every time I pull away from the TV and actually have a conversation with somebody, especially an intellectual one, and they actually ask me real questions, I'm like, okay, something's not right. But the funny thing is, I can be around intellectual people that actually think all this sort of stuff. The minute you get around a LeBron fan, all that TV stuff comes right back. Sadly, it's the same way with Stephen Curry fans. The thing is, I feel like Stephen Curry hasn't really established himself. And it's weird because, a lot of people say that he's not an athletic player. I think anybody would say that Stephen Curry's not an athletic player. But the thing is, he doesn't belong in the league because he's a smaller guy. And then on top of the fact that he's not a very durable guy either. You look at his success and you think, oh, he is pretty durable. No. You look at his longevity, you might think he is pretty durable. No. He has struggled with his legs and his ankles almost his entire career. He's been struggling with them injuries. It's always the same area, always tweaking them ankles. Of all the ankles that he took, he probably took his own just as much. But they needed them deep balls. They needed them deep balls. And it's not even that they needed it. It's just that that's the style they cut out that they decided they wanted to use to win. A lot of those things go into it. It's an effective style. There's all types of styles that work that you can use to win. This is what I was saying about Kobe Bryant. The reason why Kobe Bryant is better than Michael Jordan is because the reason why I can't say that. It's too far of a stretch to say. What I was gonna say is too far of a stretch to say. But Jordan never played with Shaq. And if he did play with Shaq, he would not be finals MVP. And I tried to find somebody saying that, but I never could find anybody saying that. I thought somebody else would have said it, but nobody else said it. Or at least I've never seen anybody else say it. But if Jordan played with Shaq, he would not win finals MVP. He might have won as many final MVPs as he has, but he would not have won all of them. Another thing that goes against Kobe's drive and ambition, or another thing that disrespects Kobe's drive and ambition, is Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson and Kobe didn't agree. If you look at Phil Jackson's career and his wins, things had to go his way or it was the highway. Oh, those guys are over there talking about it. But they're talking about the current NBA. I'm talking about more like things that are actually more important. But basically, uh, if Shaq played with Jordan, he would now. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? People. You know what's so weird? You know what's really weird? People talk about Jordan as if he won 6 championships. But you know what's so funny? People like me, we don't really know what Jordan. We don't really know what Jordan's career was like. You have to go back and do the research to get the context. Jordan didn't win 6 titles. He won 3 plus 3. He went on 2 3-peats. The closest thing you've seen to that is not LeBron James. LeBron won a single back-to-back title. He had a single back-to-back, and then he brought the championship to his hometown that he betrayed, and then he won a bubble ring where there's no competition because it's an abnormal atmosphere. Instead of watch that cop go by. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I never heard the media really critique the bubble ring like that, but I heard a lot of fans do it. A lot of fans are upset about that bubble ring. Okay, everybody's off the court. I'm probably gonna put some shots up. But like I said, man, if Jordan played with Shaq, he wouldn't have as many Finals MVPs. Um, Jordan had never played with some. You know what's funny? Gilbert Arenas, he got on the podcast and he said that Kobe doesn't know who 86 Jordan is. He doesn't know who Jordan was. You know, athletic Jordan, Air Jordan, all this sort of stuff. Jordan averaging 40, all this sort of stuff, right? That's hard to say because we did have a couple moments where Kobe was kind of like that, right? But I guess you could say he wasn't as dominant. But the thing about Kobe is the only thing about that is that Kobe saw that because Kobe's ambition wasn't the same as Jordan's. Well, it was. It's hard to it's hard to say this. Basically, Kobe's ambition was not the same. Wait a minute, it was the same. Kobe's ambition was the same, but the difference is Jordan came first, so he paved the way for the 6'6" guard. So Kobe playing chess, this, that, the third, he's not going to. Of course, he watched film. Of course, he knew what kind of atmosphere it was when Jordan was doing all that stuff. If you hear Kobe talk about how if you constantly hear Kobe talk about how much he wanted to be like Jordan and be great like Jordan and take his moves and all that sort of stuff, you would think that he wanted to follow everything like Jordan, and then you would start to think, oh well, he only followed the Jordan that won the championships, not the Jordan that was dominant in all statistics. And you'd be exactly correct. And so the thing is, Kobe wasn't trying to follow the Jordan that wasn't winning championships. That's what people don't get. That's what people miss. Kobe wasn't trying to follow Air Jordan if it meant he played his heart out and he didn't get a chip. Kobe was only trying to be like the best winners. Now, the best winners in Kobe's mind is obviously Bill Russell, 11 rings, but he knew that he could not emulate Bill Russell to the fullest because he's 6'6" and Bill Russell's like what 7'1" or something. So it wasn't so. But for some guy to come along and win six, or at least 3+3, and be titled the greatest because of the amount of championships and the dominance, and also the to be titled the greatest because of what his body of work and then his style of play, and to be the form factor that Kobe was, because before Jordan, Kobe was modeling his game after Magic. And you can say, and a lot of people say, well, no, that can't be right because I mean, look at him. But he did, and he just added his own little spice to it. But don't forget that even the spice that he added to it came from his dad. Because if you watch Joe Jellybean play, it's not like Kobe, but it is different from how guys like him played in Joe's time. And so both Joe and Kobe added spice to whoever it was that they emulated. So they were always going to be their own player. They were always going to be their own people. You know, it's so funny. People, as much as people love to talk about Kobe and how they played and Jordan and how good they were and LeBron and all these people, they never really get into detail about exactly what they do, like physically. They're like what they do on the court, like how their bodies actually move and connect, like steps, and how they what their forms are like on the court. You know, and so you don't have a lot of people that talk about top. You don't have a lot of people that talk about. It's like, where is this woman going? Like, she gonna play basketball? Is she gonna play around her kids? No, she goes to the book section, the book thing. It's just funny, really funny. But anyway, the free book, uh, place a book and take a book thing. She's taking all the books. What the hell? She's taking all. Why is she taking all the books? What the heck's wrong with you? But oh well. So anyway, well, I don't understand how so many books got in there anyway. No, she's not taking all the books. She's looking through them. Hey, I'm gonna start putting some books in that joint, bro. Some good books, not like some lame books. Like some good books, like the Mastery of a Man and all this other stuff. I don't like 12 Laws of Power or whatever. That thing is a total book of manipulation and BS. But yeah, like I was saying, Jordan Jordan played in an era you couldn't carry the ball. I noticed they were talking about that. You couldn't carry the ball. So that altered his game. I mean, Jordan's pretty hardcore, you know. I respect Jordan's game a lot. It's just that there's a difference in eras, and people act like, oh, you can't compare, bro. End of the day, bro, you can't compare. Could LeBron beat Jordan in Georgia? Yeah, absolutely not. The man cannot play like that. Can Kobe do it? Absolutely, yes, he can. And a lot of people don't realize that Kobe's the only um trans era player because, and it's not because he has all those styles and all those skills. It's because he's a quick adapter. And those are things that kills LeBron's game. If you're not playing LeBron's game, then he's going to lose. If you're not playing LeBron's game, he's going to lose. If you're not playing LeBron's game, he's going to lose, which is so weird, isn't it? Right? He doesn't want to play if you're not playing his game. I mean, there's so many things that can be said about LeBron. I don't like sitting here and talking about LeBron if I'm not talking to somebody that can actually agree. It's one thing if you're a fringe person, it's easy to be called crazy. If I could sit here and talk with another person, if I had comments and we actually went back and forth, then we'd have something. But but it's there's something very different about being able to. There's something very different about seeing two people. That's all it takes. One person and another person agreeing that LeBron is not what the media says he is. That's a very powerful thing. What I'm doing right now, that's not powerful. I've already had it happen where I've been able to change somebody's perspective just by asking simple questions. Completely flip their entire world upside down. Because a lot of people just go day to day, go to work, come home, watch CNN, believe it, and go back to sleep and wake up the next morning and do the same thing. A lot of people don't have the foundation and the fortification to think for themselves. And all those people end up being in a statistic. Oh, sweet, they're finally leaving the court. I'm the last person here. Oh, that's so awesome. Stupid girl that was supposed to do my hair canceled on me, man. Woohoo, big whoop. Boohoo, big whip. I mean whoop. Um. Anyway, so I'm about to bounce, guys. It's been a great 30 minutes talking to myself. Not having no contact with nobody else. How productive is that? I don't know. But my phone about to die, and I hope I can talk to you guys about something serious later on and actually get the chat popping. But whatever I'm going to talk about, I'm actually going to be entertained by it and not just trying to fit in, because that sucks. That sucks. Later.